Alas, poor genie! His need to hunt down the kobolds hiding in the hills in the name of bloody vengeance to appease his new goddess Valfara proved to be his undoing, and what was left of him probably ended up in a kobold cooking pot. And the next hopeful who steps forward to challenge death is Georg, a strapping young wizard of 17. Fresh off the boat in Whiteshore, he takes in all the new sights of this unknown city. Eventually, he hears of a halfling village from an innkeeper which he decided to visit. But on the way there, he finds a cart of slaves whose master died, leaving them stranded and chained to the cart. He decides to free them and invites the slaves to follow him to the halfling village. During the journey, he learns a little more about one of the slaves, Reptar, who is an ex-mercenary and claims to have killed many halflings. Reptar becomes the unofficial foreman of the slaves, keeping them in line with force where needed. He reaches the village and walks up to a house. The female owner invites him in, but he enlarges her with an enchantment. Distraught, she runs for help while Georg makes himself some tea. She returns with other halflings, but using the magic, Georg easily sends them into unconsciousness. He orders his slaves to bring the unconscious halflings inside and continues to make everyone tea. His tea-making behavior confuses the poor halflings, half claiming he is an evil sorcerer come to curse them, while the rest thinks he is a pretty okay guy, and the cleric invites him and his companions to sleep in the church. He inquires about the mountains to the north, and learns it is a dangerous place, that they were formed during some great cataclysm. Undeterred, Georg decides to head to the mountains anyway come dawn. What lies waiting in the mountains? What will happen with the slaves? Will he learn to bend space and time to his will? Find out next time on Dicing with Death.
Why, hello everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Ryan, how are you doing today on our 2-year Dicing with Death anniversary?
Can you send the DM hex bear across the screen or something?
Yes.
So
I forgot about them. There we go. Yes, for those of you who do not know, it is our 2-year Dicing with Death anniversary.
To be fair, we didn't know until about 15 minutes ago when we looked at a calendar and we're like, wait, hold on a sec.
But for those of you out there who weren't keeping up ahead of us, welcome to 2 years of Dicing with Death. So, I don't think there's anything else to say on that.
Yeah, nothing special planned. Whoops.
No. Or is there?
Bum, bum, bum.
Anywho, you have all just heard the recap, but for Ryan and us who didn't get a chance to listen to the recap or barely got a chance to listen to the recap, we are hanging out near Whiteshore. You're in a little halfling village, which I don't think actually has a name.
No, it doesn't. A nameless halfling village.
Mm-hmm. And you have...
What kind of halflings are these?
They are stout.
Or stouts. There we go.
They're all stouts.
A stout halfling village west of Whiteshore.
Yes, and you have, is it 4 or 5 slaves?
There's like a parade of about, I think, I thought it was 7. I didn't even write it down. So this shows how this character is not Silac. I'm not keeping my slaves on my under equipment on my character sheet, nor are they under mount/pet. You filthy animal.
But how many slaves do you have, really?
I don't remember. I think it was 7 or something along those lines. My character probably would. I mean, I guess he has 18 intelligence. I'm sure he counted, but
okay. But we need to know.
We need to know. It's about a half dozen men with bronze collars following behind.
Okay.
For this, it was a dark. I think last episode was a good prequel. I mean, so we're starting off in the safety of this halfling village, ready to go off on our adventure.
So we're gonna say it's 6 slaves, including the leader.
Maybe someone in chat knows, but it sounds good to me. Oh yeah, that sounds right. And his name was Reptar, according to the recap. I don't remember naming him Reptar. I think you named him Reptar, but
yes, that sounds about right.
Reptar seems to be the leader of these former slaves.
Okay, I guess we're just gonna have to name. Because we're gonna have to go full Rugrats on this one.
And I'm playing Tommy, our fearless leader.
No.
I am Georg, the human dimensionalist, a mage from the east.
Okay, what the hell? If you Google Rugrats characters, it starts with Chucky. It goes Chucky, then Tommy, then Angelica.
Did he have more screen time than Tommy?
That's not possible. Is it? Tommy's the main character.
And you're went to Neil at age 7 or whenever you were watching Rugrats.
Rugrats was the shit, man.
Yeah. Anyways, I was describing my character, but fine.
I'm sorry.
So I think I got through everything.
Cool. So you are in this halfling village. What would you like to do?
So, got some schemes. So I think it's like nightfall, right? Like we had some shit got out of hand last episode. I like paraded these with a caravan of men behind me. We marched into the halfling village and had forced ourselves in for some tea time.
Something like that.
It was a raucous party. we broke all the plates.
Here we go. I have all of your slave names. We've got Reptar, Ranuli, Orwell, Fander, Rugbug, and Albad.
I suppose I can know those because I have 18 intelligence.
Yes, and you've heard them discuss amongst each other.
Okay.
Now, where the hell is the encounter table for this area? I did build an encounter table.
Yeah. So I don't know what the slaves are doing. I've like been booted from this woman's house. I didn't even catch her name. The one that I enlarged, and she got quite furious with me. And
right, her name doesn't matter. You will never encounter her again.
Yeah. Who says?
Okay.
All right. So I think in the night I'll stroll out of this halfling village in the hills. And look up at the stars.
They are many and plentiful.
I do indeed have an astrology proficiency, which I would like to roll at this time. In fact, I'm pretty sure it says under the proficiency, you should warn your DM ahead of time, but Neil didn't prep, so we just get to roll an astrology check.
You could have just told me pre-show what you wanted to do, and I would have...
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'll roll.
No, Neil, you can figure it out. Don't worry about it. It's fine, you know. Okay. Your insight is limited to the next 30 days.
I'm going to get the dice warm. It is dark and there are stars that I can astrologize at.
Yes. Are you warming up your dice or are you actually going to roll it?
Oh, good thing I warmed them up. 18 intelligence carrying me through. So I can tell that there at least are stars.
Why is that not showing up for me? Oh, there it goes.
Is there a lag?
There's something. The dice are not showing up on screen.
I can see them on my end, so I think it's just...
Yeah, they're showing up in Roll20, but they're not showing up in... Whoa.
Neil, break everything. Are the overlays
Something's broke. Something's really broke. What the hell's going on? That's what's going on. I did the wrong window in the wrong way, and I broke everything. There. Okay, solved. Whew.
Okay. Dice cam's up.
Yes, dice.
So I guess I probably should have had you roll that in private, because if I roll a 20, I get a wildly inaccurate reading.
Yes.
But I do have some questions for you, I guess. So it is, what time of year, what season is it in the world of Solemn? Is that what
World of Solemn, continent of Arcadia.
Arcadia. I thought it was, wasn't there like a the kingdom of Neilgasm of Farnelia?
Farnelia.
Sorry, there is no Neilgasm kingdom.
There's no, it's not kingdom of Farnelia, Farnelia. My name's not involved in any of these things, but that's not even this proper kingdom. We are over in this other place where actually I haven't figured out the kingdom name for, but that's
fine.
It's fine.
Georg does not know.
It is springtime.
Spring. What time was it in the land that I left? Far to the east. Do we have a name for that continent? Okay, so the seasons haven't changed.
No.
But what about the stars? So there are constellations in the sky above me.
So what are your questions for your astrology check?
Well, I was kind of, for some reason I thought it was, I guess it's a new character and we didn't establish. For some reason I thought it was autumn.
I may have said autumn last time, but since no one really recalls.
My character to study the stars in winter when they disappear, right?
You cannot astrologize in winter because there are no stars. Well, I guess there's there's the constellations of Verasi and Malchus, but everything in between them is blank. So when it becomes nightfall, you can see like Verasi rising and then Malchus setting. Let's see. Next 30 days, and his knowledge is vague at best. So what questions are you looking to have answered?
I have to ask a question. I think I'm 30 days. My knowledge is vague. I think we're good. I only rolled a 4 on that check. There's stars and I've seen them. I'm thinking about building a telescope in those mountains and inviting these free men to come with me.
Okay. So you look towards the stars and try and appraise what your future holds for you.
Yeah. I guess so. I don't know that I really believe that shit, but it's more, there's no astronomy proficiency. So, so this is the old Dungeons and Dragons equivalent of astronomy. Georg's a man of science and magic.
Danger rides on 4 legs.
Where did I read that in the stars? What is this? Danger rides on 4. Is there some 4-legged constellation that would, in popular folklore, dictate?
This is just how your astrology's workings come. You know, there's these stars in these positions. A cloud moves over something, and you see a shooting star momentarily. And the positions of these things, they read out to you danger rides on 4 legs. You know, how do people make predictions by ripping out the entrails of goats?
I don't know. For some reason I studied this shit.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What's going on back in town? How are the slaves interacting with the halflings? So I think I left them for however many, half an hour or so, get some peace and quiet out under the starlight. I need some sleep too if I'm gonna.
You arrive back and set off. The slaves have made themselves a nice little cozy home, kind of in between 2 houses, in some tall grass where it's a little bit warmer. And they have posted watch. Reptar is first one on watch, and he's standing and kind of eyeing the surroundings. You see little halfling kids poking their heads out through windows, trying to get a glimpse of these bronzed humans with their big bronze collars.
So were the stars the same over here as they were in the east? Or are the constellations like?
No. The constellations are actual. They are the gods in the sky. They're not representative of the gods, but they are literally like when you look out and look at the gods in the void. That's what they look like.
So I think I just sort of confirmed that for Georg here.
Mm-hmm. The stars are the same.
The world is not what he thought. Here he has traveled across the sea, and it's still the same.
Is the same the entire boat journey, and now that you're here in White Shore, it's the same again.
The world is indeed flat, a plane. 2 dimensions. So is there chaos erupting in the halfling village, or is
everything's kind of settled down. The halflings are all off to sleep. Little kids are trying to stay awake to watch the humans, but...
And where is our 7 bronzed men?
The 6 bronzed men are asleep in between 2 halfling huts.
There's 6 plus Reptar, or is it
6 including Reptar?
It's nighttime?
It is.
I need a cool hat. Dreaming of cool hats, I sit down, pull my hood of my robes over my head, and go to sleep.
Okay.
Take a nap, if you will. I'd like to be up early, but I need like 6 hours to study my spells, or maybe 8 hours.
8 hours.
8 hours.
You rest.
I won't be up early. I'm a heavy sleeper.
8 hours later, maybe 10 hours later, you wake up. It's spring, so the nights are still longer than the days. You get yourself a nice long sleep and a rise.
So, I didn't use a color spray, correct? I didn't have to KO any halflings.
I don't think so. So you still have color spray memmed.
So I study my notes on dimension and length. Memorize my enlarge reduce spell.
Do you burn your color spray, or do you just
I'll use enlarge. No, I'll keep color spray in the back of my head.
You can memorize 2 spells?
In my back pocket is a couple of bags of sand. Yes, I can. I'm a specialist. A dimensionalist.
Ooh.
With my spells, I weave the very fabric of space and time.
Yes.
Now to say that in a German accent. We'll just have to have a character.
Are you full elf? Half elf?
Human.
Human? Okay.
Human. I'm kind of regretting not aging myself.
You want to be an old...
I heard the recap that I was 17. No, I'm just surprised that didn't occur to me during character creation, to be like, let's be like 80 years old and have 20 int.
And just have like no strength or dex or con.
Yeah, and just speak like every language ever, and 100% chance to win. I think at that point I would have infinite... if this character ages naturally, he'll have infinite spells.
Eventually.
Per level.
If he can survive that long.
That's just 19, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I only have 2 HP and 10 AC. So we're not going to fight our way there. Reptar will.
All right. You have Reptar. You have your other slaves. The halfling village is awake. People are hustling and bustling about, doing their little halfling things, but it's very calm and serene. You hear the squeaky wheels of wheelbarrows as they push manure down the streets and tend to their gardens. There's a big windmill, which you can hear churning grain off a few hundred feet away from you. Everyone seems to be happy and going about their little happy halfling lives.
Okay.
So
I'm probably up after everyone else. Right? If I need 8 hours of sleep, I'm kind of a...
Yes, all the slaves are awake before you.
Are they just like waiting super awkwardly in this alley?
Yeah, it's not really an alley. So think that everything's like soft rolling hills all over the place.
The side of some halfling's house.
Yeah. Well, in between 2 halfling houses, there's like a small valley.
Okay. So we're at, yeah. All right. Sounds good. Between 2 hills. Are they like milling about, or are they just like standing there?
Some of them are lounging. Some of them are squatting. Reptar is standing.
All right, so I stand up promptly with my book, slam it shut, shove it in my bag, collect my things, pull my... I don't have clothes under my robe, so I guess I just wear my robes all the time. I was going to describe putting on the robes, but I think they're my skin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. It's how people lived in the day.
And yeah. Okay. So then. Well, gentlemen, to the north. I hope you're ready for an adventure. And I tap my quarterstaff against my boots, and
they fall in behind you and head out.
As we get a little ways away from the village proper, I will gesture to the field. I assume there's fields that the halflings tend, and turn to the slave and say, "The slaves, they're not slaves anymore."
Yes, they are. They still have their collars.
Turn to Reptar and the other bronze men.
And say,
"Are you boys hungry?"
They nod.
"And break your fast in the fields," and suggest that they
just go raid the halfling fields.
but gently.
Okay. They head out there and start picking
we
food.
feed ourselves on their food as we walk out of town to the north.
Okay. They go and pick at their food.
I try to make it discreet, I'm not. I'm doing my best to shepherd the...
You can't make it discreet. You're giants compared to these guys.
So we just... I hope that it's us just trudging through their fields, munching as we go, and not like...
I mean, you're going down the road, so everyone like walks off the road, and goes into a field, and one farmer gets his crop wrecked.
It's like an entire tree worth of tiny apples.
I mean, all the food is still human-sized. You know, it's not like specialty halfling apples that are half the size of normal apples. They just have like giant apples that are the size of their head. It'd be pretty cool to be a halfling. You know, if an apple was the size of your head and pumpkins are as big as your whole body.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty interesting.
Well, I'm a little bummed that I didn't get a little halfling companion for the fellowship here.
Well, you did kind of, you know, cultural problems.
Yeah, it's because I didn't take that herbalism proficiency. Smoke pipe weed with the halflings and make them my friends.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
But I studied engineering in school. It's okay, I'll build myself a halfling.
Okay. On your way down the road towards the north.
Is there actually a road, or just
it's kind of just a path? It's not enough of a road to mark on a map. You know, it's just kind of the path out of town. You come across a caravan of humans. This is some hours after you've woken up, and you're approaching the exit of the hills. Let's actually just move your character. Boop. There you go. It is a merchant wagon rolling into town. There is a guy driving the first wagon. He's got a big fancy hat on with a big red feather that comes out of it. Do you have any sort of animal lore skill?
No. I can ride a horse, but I wouldn't know what kind of feather it was, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
I can read and write. I got a quill.
No.
It's not my quill sticking out of his hat.
It's just a big red feather.
But my hat will have to have a little quill on the top.
Well, when you get a hat. We're not there yet, Brian. Let's not jump.
Hey, I just found a merchant. He might sell me his.
Anyway, he's leading 3 carts. There's a guy in the front, big red feather in his hat. There are a couple of armed guards riding on the wagons too. And there are 3 wagons in total, all pulled by oxen.
Yes, I eye the merchant's hat covetously. Give them a nod and like a little... I'm like walking with a staff, so I like give it a little wave. Guten Tag, gentlemen.
Good morning, good sir.
Go to walk past them, unless they stop to like try and sell me shit.
No, the merchant's just you just start to walk past him, and he kind of calls over his shoulder. How are the halflings today? All good, I presume. No giant attacks.
Just oversized wizards, and I give him a wink.
Okay. No, I guess that's that for that encounter then. And you head out. A little bit later, you find yourself at the edge of the plain. Now, let's see, how big is this? From you to the mountains is like...
I stop here and get a good look at the mountains.
The base of the mountains are like 13 miles away.
Yeah.
You could make it there in a day if you wanted.
Yeah. I can tell that they're 13 miles away. I don't know that I have any navigation.
I mean, you can see the distance of the mountains. You can't tell that they're exactly 13.
How tall they are? Like, I know I can't get exactly, but are they like thousands of meters?
They are
10,000 meters. I mean, are we talking?
They're about like a mile high, maybe. Maybe not quite. Maybe like they're 3,500, 4,000 feet.
Yeah, so that's pretty Paulsley mountains. This isn't the tallest mountain range in all the land.
No, it's not the tallest mountain range in all the land. Definitely not.
No,
they're good-sized mountains, but they're still not that big. Yeah,
we're talking like mountains behind Santa Barbara, Santa Ynez Mountains.
Those are like 2,000 feet, right?
No, the taller points are more.
I thought the average height was around 2,000 feet. That's what I've been using as my baseline for mountain heights.
That's what I figured. Mount Figueroa is 4,500. It's in San Rafael, so I think it's the next range over. But from what you're used to looking at, but no, it's. Anyways.
Yep, the peak is 48.
Things.
But the ones that we would hike to the top to, like San Marcos Pass, is only like 2K high, right?
Yeah. Yeah, San Marcos Pass.
Yeah, that's what I'm working off of as my height.
Okay. Anyways, forget childhood memories. Let's get back to this fictional universe here.
Mm-hmm.
These mountains are not fantastic. I was hoping they would be fantastic and like 20 bajillion miles high. You can't even see the top. There's a cloud giant pissing off the edge.
They are fantastic, but not for that reason.
Okay. So after a brief break on some hill overlooking the plains, unless I see anything interesting in the plains, we'll set off.
No. It's a great open plain. Could you use a ruler to draw your path that you'd like to go so I know where you want to hit the mountains?
So I think I was just going to go straight and then maybe look for a place to cross the mountains. So depending on where there's a...
You want to cross over to the lakeside of the mountains?
Yeah, I don't even know there's a lake over there. So we'll see. So we're walking basically due north into the plains. And I do have direction sense. Are there trees about, or is it just meant to be a few scattered trees?
A few scattered trees. There's no large forest, but there are, trees all around. The center of the plains is a lot more open, but the edges have a lot more trees. So 4 or 5 hours later, you find yourself right about here.
Sorry, I'll move myself.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
You haven't seen another living soul.
Really? So I saw nothing from the hills overlooking the plains, nothing through the plains.
From the hills, you saw some animals. As you've walked through the plains, you've seen various critters, like, there's a gopher snake over here. There's some birds over there. Someone spots a rat running through the fields. But there are some very gentle hills to these plains, so your view is obstructed. It's not Kansas style, where you can see for forever. It's more it's more like the road 101 north. There's a lot of hills.
None of your viewers understand these references.
No, they won't. But they understand.
Just for me.
Line of sight is obscured by terrain.
I don't want to read chat. I think they'll make this show even more politically incorrect than it is already. All right. So, no encounters in the plains. What time? I mean, is it getting towards? I mean, we're gonna. I guess I'm taking a look.
3 in the afternoon.
trying to look for a good place to pass or where people could. There's no roads or anything, right? It's just like there's a white shore and that's it.
Yep, it's the only. Well, there are a couple of
do
small
they
settlements here scattered around. You haven't crossed any, but you don't really know where they might be. But there are supposed to be a few settlements in the
signs of human life, or it's just open. It's wilderness.
Where you are is mostly wilderness. When you were heading to the halfling place, if you look at the map, along the path of the arrow that I'm drawing right now, there are a lot more villages and settlements. But out here in this...
I guess I'm wondering where the road went to.
Oh, the road that you were on?
Yeah. Did I lose it at some point?
Yeah, it kind of just... Once you got half a mile outside of the halfling town, it just kind of disappeared. People would have veered off in too many different directions.
Okay.
It's a road of... It's not an established and maintained road. It's just a road from people's foot traffic.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to continue walking north into the forest, sort of skirting the mountains. I'm trying to survey them as best I can and get an idea for where it looks passable.
Give me an intelligence check.
Intelligence checks for days. I need to get a...
You don't remember anything. Cool.
There we go. Getting these early rolls out early with my intelligence.
Got to get them out.
All right. So we're heading on into the woods. Keeping an eye out for a road or signs of humans. I guess that... whatever.
Okay. A few hours later, and you make it... How far is this?
Okay, so I was going to note, I have water for myself, but there's no... The bronze men don't have their own canteens. Have we seen rivers or anything? Or...
No, actually, they are pretty dehydrated. Yeah. They've walked all day through a big open sunny field with no water.
I'm a terrible expedition leader.
They are slaves, so they don't say anything about it. But looking them over, you figure they could probably go another half day or so without water before
I'm going to set out looking through the woods for water. And I've been sipping from my canteen the whole day.
Well, you make it to the edge of the woods. I mean, the woods aren't well defined, but there's kind of the more that's definitely woods over there, and we're still out in the plains. And the sun is already below the mountains, setting in the west. There's daylight left from just the ambient lighting that hits the sky and bounces back, but there's no more direct light. And probably within the next hour or so, the sun will be down. That's at the edge of the woods. So
daylight's burning. I'm guessing where there's trees, there's more water. So we're gonna cruise into these woods and look for a creek. Listen for a creek.
You don't happen to have the survival skill, do you?
No, I am a pampered, paunch-bellied young nerdling.
Okay.
It says under my appearance that I wear my dark crimson robes to hide my paunch.
Ah. Okay, so you all set out.
Pampered and overeducated.
Can I get you to make me a survival check at -5?
Yeah, I can't swim. You won't be able to drown me. But right now, we can't even find some water. Well, I've got plenty I had a half gallon.
You'll be fine. Survival is intelligence -2, or
-2, so -7 for me.
Hold on, I might have misread that. I might have looked at the thing below. It might actually just be intelligence 0. It is intelligence 0.
Nice.
So give me an intelligence check at -5.
It's 13, right? 13 minus. Bam! I find the creakiest creek there is.
Yeah. You are not trained in wood lore, but you're well educated and you understand that where trees are.
Topography.
Yeah.
Topology. And how to bend space-time to my will. So I march us uphill towards the mountains.
Yeah, you spot a section of the
finding a creek bed.
You spot a section of the mountain that looks like it's been eroded over time by water wear, and you head in that direction, and you find a large crystal clear pool of water at the foot of one of these at the foot of the mountains. Now, I do want to mention that these mountains are unusually shaped. There are no foothills on this side of the mountain range whatsoever. You have kind of earth, and then you have just like steep mountainside cliff before you. They look like they were. How do you want to say? They are unusual mountains. They are not made via typical plate tectonic activity.
We have a theory of plate tectonics in this fantasy land.
If you have 18 int, yeah. I mean, you can look at. You've examined the mountains. You've examined geology.
18 int is 1 in 256 people. It took until like the 1970s to come up with plate tectonics.
Yeah, but they've got magic.
Yeah. If the plates don't move on their own, we'll make them move.
Yeah. But these definitely look like they're shaped differently than any other mountain range you've studied before.
I am no geographer, but I'm astute enough to catch this and apparently find river valleys or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, you and your men gather around and drink some water. They drink very thirstily.
I have no rations. I was totally expecting like a town. Well, I guess I just marched right out of town with.
Yeah. Well,
I started the party without buying refreshments first.
And pretty soon the sun is setting. You can see the red hues in the sky above you. But you are in the shade of the mountains and in the shade of the trees, and it is getting dark and cold.
Yeah. Most of the day is probably gone in silence, or rather, Georg talks to himself, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
A little communication with the brass men. Bronze men? Are they bronze men?
Bronze men.
Yes. But now, before bed, I will inquire to Reptar. So, do you boys know how to take watches? Almost kidding. Fighting the Eastern European elven accent.
We are former soldiers. We know how to take watch.
He's not an elf. Don't.
I better remember what accent he had last time, so I'm just giving him a new one.
All right. Whoa. Carry on. Tomorrow, I think we should find some food. And I lean back. I guess I'll try and start a fire, but I don't have a fire building. I do have flint and steel.
Yeah, you guys can get a little fire going.
We'll get a camp set up and hang out. I don't know that there's much small talk around this campfire. It's probably super awkward, but Georg doesn't realize how awkward it is. Maybe he does.
Yeah.
11 charisma. I'm astute enough to know that it's awkward, but I don't know how to fix it.
Okay. You all sleep and rest.
Not that we really needed to, but
you did. You hiked all day.
There's nothing mechanical that would enforce that.
You need to sleep, damn it.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I heard about this guy on Twitch that went 6 days without sleep. He was still slaying dragons at the end.
Yeah. Well, you're not him. Your Georg's not him. Georg can cast magic spells. He's cooler. So you're all resting.
Fighting penalties. That is the one thing. And those are a bitch.
Fighting penalties? That's not in the books anywhere.
In darkness?
Oh, in darkness, yeah. You're woken up before, well, just as the sky is lightening, to the shriek of one of your men.
A shriek. He shrieks.
He shrieks.
My bronze men do not shriek. What is this? And I sit up with a start.
You sit up with a start. The fire has long burned out. It's difficult to see in the dim dawn. But there is something on the man that is shrieking. The man is lying on the ground. And there's like a huge bat on him with like a wingspan of 2 feet.
So I've got some torch. I'm going to light a torch in the fire.
The fire is pretty much burned out.
Well, I'll take a round lighting my torch anyways.
Okay. So you go to light your torch.
I go to the coals and then realize it's not going to happen. Pull out my flint and steel. I assume the other slaves are getting to their feet.
Yes.
Battle music is starting, maybe? Or is this going to be... Do I just have to go, get out of here, you silly bat, and he'll fly away?
It's not epic enough to need battle music quite yet.
Okay. Not till the reinforcements arrive.
Okay.
The
man is screeching and crying and saying, "Get it off me! Get it off of me!" As the others get up and go for tools and weapons and clubs. Just like branches. No, but there's like branches on the ground, and there's a log here, there's a stick there. They're not great weapons. And at the end of the round, you get your torch lit, wave it over the man, and what you see before you surprises you. You've never seen a creature like this. It has, as I said before, a 2-foot wingspan. It's got leathery wings like a bat, but it's got 4 legs like some sort of strange insect, and it has this long hummingbird-like needle nose, maybe more like a mosquito-like needle nose.
Roll for initiative.
That is plunging into the guy's neck, and you can just see the blood flowing out of his neck in through this long needle as it drinks his life force.
Alrighty, I am rolling a D20 or D10. Yeah. Oh man, I'm bumbling over the words to my incantation. Torch in one hand, fumbling with my pouches, trying to. I got open 3 of them, 3 different colors of sand.
Oh no, it's just so much to do. Okay, the monsters go first. That first one sits there, sucking out the guy's blood.
Well, is there a head? What the fuck is? Are they head crabs with wings?
No, they are. They look like
that. I don't know that I actually know what those things. Oh, I've never used those as a DM.
That's what they look like.
Sturge.
Yes. Did you just look that up?
No, I know. I know. I recognize a sturge when I see one. I don't think Georg does, but.
Okay. The Sturges go first. That one continues to suck blood out of that guy, while 2 more swoop down in and land at.
I hope they're afraid of my torchlight.
Are
they strike from the darkness? Or are they attracted to the light?
They prefer to avoid the flame, you suspect, because neither of the 2 others that swoop in come after you. Boom, but they both land on more of your slaves. One of them critically hits a slave for, 4 points of damage plus 3 points of blood sucking. One of your guys gets like a skewer straight into his chest, collapses onto the ground, flails for a minute, and then you can just see his life drain away as he like shakes and tremors and goes still. His skin starts to wrinkle and prune as the Sturge on top of him grows fat with blood. Another Sturge swoops by and lands on your leader, Reptar, who takes 2 damage plus 2 points of life drain. Let's figure out Reptar's HP, though. Okay. I will make a note of this, and eventually you can learn it too. And that is that. It is your turn.
Okay, so I mix this colored sand in my hand that's about to go off like a flashbang. It shoots. It's going to explode out like a cone, I guess. So I'm looking. I'm definitely going to get this fat one that's on the slave. Is there any way to hit another Sturge with the blast?
I don't think your spell distinguishes between friend and foe, right?
No, it doesn't. But it's a 5x20x20 wedge that I get to aim. We don't have a battle map. That's why I was asking if there's a way to aim the wedge to catch another Sturge.
Yeah, you can catch another Sturge, but you will have, depending on how things go, it might hit your slaves instead of the Sturges.
So it goes by whoever's closest to me. So I'm looking right in this last instant before I throw my flash powder. Using my 18 intelligence to go all Sherlock on here and.
Okay, you find a way that you can hit the 3 of the Sturges and 4 slaves. So it's going to hit Sturge and slave combo, Sturge and slave combo, Sturge and slave combo, then slave.
Okay, so well, it's only D6 creatures, so it'll probably be Sturge.
Yeah. Oh, and one of those slaves is dead anyway, so it can't hit him.
Oh, is the guy right next to me dead? The guy that I rushed towards
The
with
second.
the torch?
So you've got the closest one to you is still alive. The one after that is dead, and the one after that is Reptar.
So 3 creatures. So I think I hit the Sturge in front of me,
and the slave, and then the next Sturge.
And then the Sturge that killed a guy behind it. Pop.
Saving throws. Everyone fails.
No, they don't get us if they are less than or equal to my level. So if they're 1 hit die or 1 level or level 1, they just are struck unconscious. 2d4.
Well, there you go. They are all unconscious. Give me a 2d4.
They need to be 6th level or 6 hit die to get a saving throw. Dang, are you serious? This fellow's overpowered.
Give me
OP. 2d4.
Yeah.
Flashbang.
Boom. They immediately go.
I hope they have eyes, right? If they can't see, they aren't affected.
They do have eyes. Which leaves
initiative.
No, the slaves have to go. They haven't gone yet. Which leaves Reptar to smash at with his bare fists, grabbing hold of one of the Sturge that's on him, and trying to rip it off, but it grips him strongly, so strongly. Despite his max pushing against the Sturge holds onto him tightly.
Is it like flapping? Is it still airborne? Like
no. Its claws are stuck, like grabbed onto his sides, digging in.
Which one is this?
Reptar.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other 1, 2, 3. No, one's unconscious. The other 3 have branches, basic clubs now, and they swing at the one on a Reptar, trying to knock it off. Critical miss. Does not hit Reptar. Miss and hit. One of the slaves bashes the Sturge on Reptar with a club for 6 points of damage. Well done. Breaking the Sturge's wing and knocking it to the ground. Initiative. But I think this is over because that Sturge is unconscious and the other one... They're all unconscious at this point.
They're all unconscious, and then we don't even need to roll initiative.
Yeah, no initiative needed.
We need to bludgeon the Sturges to death.
Yeah. There are unconscious Sturges everywhere.
So I think I spend that round bashing a Sturge with a quarterstaff or something. Like I set my torch down and just pick up my stick, whack a Sturge.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go back to there's only 1 dead on our side?
1 dead. 1 dead, 1 badly wounded. Renuli is almost dead. He is shaken. He can barely move. He can't, he can turn his head side to side, but he can't even stand at this point. He's had so much blood drained from him. All bad is gone.
Don't have a healing check.
Just gone.
Dead. What the fuck? All bad. We hardly knew you. Oh, I did. Do I need to roll an int check to bind wounds, or is he...
There's no wound to bind. I guess there's a puncture wound. There's not much that can be done with it. It doesn't look like it's bleeding out anymore. What do you call it? The same stuff that they use to numb the area when they bite also cauterizes, or not cauterizes, but congeals any blood to prevent leaking. But Reptar's wounded, and Renuli is basically dead. I mean, he's at 1 HP out of 8.
Okay, so he can move.
He can move, but he's weak. He's real weak.
How did the brass men react to their fallen companion?
They stand over it kind of with a look of horror.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of once the dust settles and we bludgeon these Sturges to death, we gaze upon these horrors. Whoa, you changed. Oh.
that map
gaze upon these
ever
horrors
change, yeah.
and question the sanity of the gods.
One of the slaves speaks up and says, What is this thing?"
I will reply to him in Elven. Do you speak the mother tongue?
He looks at you and kind of
I have
goes quiet.
I have never met a man that speaks like you, of many elves.
He goes quiet immediately, without replying. You get the impression he has no idea what you're saying and is a little intimidated by it.
I do not. Back to common.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know. I don't know common accent. We'll see. I think I know so many languages. I'll probably just weave in and out of various accents.
That's fine.
I can speak Orc and Ogre. There's all sorts of strange sounds that make their way into my vocabulary. I do not know what this horror is. I've never seen anything like it.
Neither have I, says Reptar. These are strange monsters.
Are you from these lands, Reptar? And I look amongst the people. All these people look of similar. God, how do I,
ethnicity?
No.
Skin tone?
Complexion.
Inflection?
Complexion.
Complexion.
Do they bear a similar amount of sun exposure? Have they all been? Do they all look like they're from the same place? I wish to use my astrology proficiency to call upon racial stereotypes and make a. Anyways,
they all look like they are from a similar region.
And they've been
vaguely similar region.
What I was trying to get at is if they've all been in this land for the same amount of time, or if there are some that are sunburned and some that aren't, or
no, they all look roughly the same. They're all humanoids. They're all well bronzed from being out in the sun a lot. They have similar hair colors and
knew each other and were captured and brought over here together.
It's possible. You could easily ask them about their.
I did just ask him, and then I went off on my racist internal monologue. That was Georg looking them up and down and applying all of his stereotypes.
Reptar tells you that they were Akubian soldiers on a raiding party once upon a time down to the Spice Islands, and they came across a Farnelia warship and were captured. There used to be a lot more of them, but they've been since splintered and sold off in different groups. Originally, it was a group of 20, and now it's down to these 6. Well, now down to these 5. After having the group being split up and sold into different sections. They were captured in disputed waters between Farnelia and Akuba.
Farnelia is quite verbose, isn't he?
Well, I mean, you ask him about.
Or is this a conversation while we're dealing with them? So I was going to ask how they handle their dead. I don't have history, but I do have religion proficiency. I don't. But I would have heard of the Akubians or wherever they said they were from.
How much preparation did you? Yeah, you have 18 inch. You're a wizard. You would know that Akuba is a kingdom. It's the northwesternmost kingdom in this continent of on the continent of Arcadia.
So we do know things about this land.
You just have a vague understanding. It's like your understanding of East Asia. You know what Japan is. You probably know more about Japan than Georg would know about Akuba. But, your knowledge is pretty limited to very broad racial or local racial cultural stereotypes, and then plus geography. The flag looks like this. They're very far to the east. I
would recognize their flag. I think that requires a heraldry proficiency, actually.
Maybe not for great kingdoms. For individual
Do
lords,
I know their
definitely.
burial rights or anything along those
No,
lines?
you have no idea about their burial rights.
Are they doing anything, or are they just sort of staring at this body?
They're staring at it. You asked about burial rights. He says that in Okuba there are not a lot of trees, and so we inter our dead in the ground. Large crypts underground are where we keep our people. There you go. It's like more like Bhutan. You probably have a rough idea of where Bhutan is.
I have no fucking idea where Bhutan is. I'm not
But if
gonna
you
lie.
had to guess, where would you'd put it somewhere in Asia, right? Near India, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere in
That's
around the Indian Ocean. I don't know.
yeah.
Some coastal
Georg knows as much
country.
about Akuba as you know about Nepal and Bhutan. Just like, oh, fucking place over there. Never had to deal with it in my life, and now I'm meeting some people from it.
burying an estranged Akuban soldier.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll say to Reptar, we ought to get digging, unless you have any catacombs in your pockets.
The slaves seem surprised that you would recognize their burial rights of their homelands.
I knew that without asking. Didn't he tell me?
Yeah, but they seem surprised that you would
that
you'd go through with that for slaves.
Yeah. And I think as I say this, let me look up what it looks like when I do enlarge. There is a material component to that, which is powdered iron. Okay. I pull out a pinch of iron powder, and so I think I like this as I'm saying. I guess right after I say, then let's get digging. I mutter my arcane words and give Reptar a slap on the back with the powdered iron. Black dust, and he grows by 10%.
To make him dig faster?
Yes. I should have enlarged myself.
Okay.
I figured an enlarged 10% of Reptar would be more than 10% of me.
Yeah. You all set to work digging, but you don't have any tools other than your hands and what sticks you can find.
How hard is the earth?
It's not super hard, but it's still rough. It takes you guys a few hours to dig a hole big enough to bury this man in, all bad. And a few hours later, you bury him in the ground. Unless you speak up, no one says any words over him.
Reptar is only enlarged for the first 5 minutes of that, but it was good for morale.
Yes, he seemed to be quite impressed by your magic.
It was really just a trick of the eye. He didn't actually grow larger.
Everyone else shrunk.
All of the rest of the universe shrink. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The body is buried. The people are grievous and kind of tired from digging a hole first thing in the morning. But you're all awake. You're all ready to do your day.
No, after we finish work and burying, did they say anything, or did we just put the guy in the ground?
Unless you speak up, no one says anything.
I think as the sun is rising, I'd say, and now it is time for a nap. And I give my staff 2 thumps on the ground and prepare to go to sleep. I probably move away from the body.
Okay.
Or do we camp right on top of where?
Probably not right on top of the corpse.
What's the chance of 2 random encounters happening in the exact same spot twice in a row? Yeah, so we make camp a little ways away.
Are you going to sleep for another?
Yeah, I want my spells, so we're going to sleep all day.
You're just going to spend all day resting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they are your conventional notions of time. I'm on wizard time over here.
Why don't we take our first break while you guys nap?
Yeah.
Okay. We will see you on the other side of a break. Bye-bye.